coverage of the Charlotte Grand Prix.
And good day to you. It's a glorious one as we speak to you live from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. I'm Ken Squier. With me is David Hobbs. And today, it's the International Motorsports Association. The super slick, most exotic, fastest cars in the world. These are the Star Wars cars. The kind of cars that would make a perfect setting for a Luke Skywalker to fend off a Darth Vader, David.
Well, Ken, you're right. These cars have unlimited turbo boost and they have unlimited fuel. So the power output is round about the 750 mark. And they'll see speeds in excess of 230 miles an hour on some circuits, and here at Charlotte they'll be pulling close to 200 as they go into the north banking. This is the most exotic racing in the world, and of course it's a tremendously healthy series, IMSA. We have a lot of major manufacturers down there involved, both tyre and car, and there's more coming. So this series is really on the way to being one of the wealthiest and healthiest in motorsports.
We're going to take a tour of the course right now and see this 2¼ mile oval with Jim Busby and Bill Alsup.
The GTP cars come off of the banking, come past the start-finish line at about 190 miles an hour. At that point, you apply the brakes very, very hard, pull it down into third gear. We skip from fifth to third, go through the first part of what I call turn one, which is turns out to be a double corner, but with our car, we take it as one. And we sweep through that in third gear, accelerate down the little short chute, into the second right-hander, which I call turn two, which is probably called turn three. Brake very hard and put the car in second.
Well, Jim, we do the same thing. We treat the first, second corner as the same sort of one big radius turn, then the little quick right-hander down over a hill, and you have to be careful the grade change there doesn't upset you, and then the same thing. We can run that either in second or third. That Buick has so much torque, I think second is quicker.
This is another place where the two cars vary. The smaller cars also are lighter and probably are as quick, if not quicker, through most of these corners on the infield, because you have to remember that the GTP car weighs over 1,800 pounds, and the GTP junior cars probably weigh, 16 or 1,700 pounds.
For sure, the most crucial corner is the one that leads before the main straight. And I think the key to that over-the-hill left-hand combination is really almost giving away the uphill right-hander before it. And get the car settled over to the right side of the racetrack and carry it on up to the banking.
Our car immediately goes into fifth gear. So we're probably at about 1.9 Gs through that first corner. And then we come out on the back straight. We've got the old rocket sled in gear at that point, and we start down that back straight. And the big turbocharged Porsches, certainly the toughest corner on the course would be turn 3 and 4 on the banked oval. When we come in there, it's really a white knuckle express. You come down in there and just lift, get it back on the floor, and really hang on for dear life all the way around that thing. And it's always in the back of your mind, unfortunately, that if there's somebody blocking you, you've come out of the throttle, you don't really know what's going to happen. So not only is it the most difficult, it certainly is the most frightening.
We come down off of turn 4, carrying maximum revs again, 87, 8800. Across the start-finish line, and then it's that hard braking, downshifting to get into turn 1, and I just can't seem to get that right. Perhaps in the race it'll come to me, but my timing so far is off. And as I said, you treat that one in turn 2 as one big turn, so if you blow the first part of it, you've really lost a lot of ground.
That's the first of the Camel Light cars as the field begins to roll out. It's Walt working with Al Leon in one of the Leon cars out of Texas, that's being the Chevy March. Then comes Charles Morgan and Indy veteran Bill Alsup, now back into this form of racing on that leader. In row 14 for today's race, that car crashed in practice this morning. It was one of the...
Holding about a 2-second lead over Al Holbert, which at the moment is obviously pretty meaningless, but it's nice to have all the same.
Let's go to Dave Despang.
And a good story developing here in the Camel Light competition. As a matter of fact, we've just this moment been advised of a position swap. We'll get to that in a moment. The good story is at the top. The leaders in this race, Bill Alsup currently in the car. We took a tour of the track with him at the top of the show. His co-driver, John Morgan, is recovering from a broken shoulder, so he's got a problem to confront when he gets into the car. That was a Camel GTP machine that has been downsized to a Camel Light. They put a smaller engine in it, and they're having a pretty good run right now because they're leading the division. The change in positions moved 75 up to second spot with Young and Klein at the wheel, and the 93 machine has fallen to third. That's the Marsh Pauley entry.
There's the story on the Camel Light category, as that car that won at Laguna Seca, that number 6 car, is running well again today here in Charlotte, North Carolina.
We've got a good manufacturer battle going on in the Camel Light division today here, as a Mazda Argo leads the race. Another one runs third, and sandwiched in the middle, a Buick Regal. Several interesting stories. The Marsh Pauley, number 93, had a broken shifter. Early in the race, fell somewhere down in here in the rundown. They've scrambled back into third and are 13th overall. But the real battle is up here. Currently running 8th and 9th overall, and that's very strong for these Camel Light cars, are Jim Downing and John Maffucci leading the race despite not having the cool suit technology and suffering a bit from the heat. The real story, though, is car number 6. Charlie Morgan with his broken shoulder and Bill Alsup in the Buick Regal. They say they can run down the leaders and win this race hands down, except for one problem, and that is fuel consumption. The first time out, they got 4.7 miles per gallon and thought no problem, 2 stops and we're home free. They came in after the second stop and found they were only getting 3.9 miles per gallon, and at that rate they'd come up short by a lap. So now they have no idea whether they can finish the race on the fuel that they have. If they've got enough gas to go to the end, they know they can win, or at least they think they can win over Downing and Maffucci. If not, who knows? That's the story on the Camel Light division. Now let's go back to pit road and Chris Economaki.
Jim Downing, our congratulations to him for his great victory in the Camel Light with Maffucci this afternoon. Morgan and Alsup finishing 6th overall and 2nd in the Camel Light race.